Good morning. I'm Jane, and I'm here with the good news for Friday, April the 8th. Well, we're on the brink of Holy Week with Palm Sunday in a few days, and today's gospel is right in sync with that time frame. In the story, Jesus is drawing near to Jerusalem, knowing what lies ahead for him, and trying once more to make the disciples understand what he was facing. This is how the story begins in Mark chapter 10, verses 32 to 34. He took the 12 aside again and began to tell them what was to happen to him, saying, "See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be handed over to the chief priests and the scribes, and they will condemn him to death. Then they will hand him over to the Gentiles. They will mock him and spit upon him and flog him and kill him. And after 3 days, he will rise again." Well, Jesus couldn't have stated his coming suffering more clearly. And since this was the third time that he gave the disciples an explanation, you might have expected them to offer him some comfort and understanding. But do you remember what happens next? Instead of concern for Jesus, James and John came forward wanting him to do something for them. Excuse me. And Jesus said to them, "What is it you want me to do for you?" And they said to him, "Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory." Well, my first reaction at this point is to be angry with these two disciples, as the other 10 were. Not only was their request selfish, but it came at such an inappropriate time. It's as if you told a close friend that you had a terminal illness, and they replied, "Well, when you die, could I have your car?" A commentary we read for Roundtable Pulpit a while ago used the term the dopey disciples, and sometimes it seems to fit. But if I'm honest, I know there are times when I have reacted to a friend's words rather like the way James and John did to Jesus. Maybe not quite so rudely as to turn the conversation around to something I wanted, but still without the empathy and the caring that was called for. Sometimes it's only in hindsight that I can see that a remark that I ignored or brushed off might have been a friend really putting out a plea for help or understanding. So the lesson for me is to try to be more sensitive to what someone might be trying to tell me and to be ready to respond with love. Now, amazingly, Jesus did not lose patience with James and John, even in this situation. He gently let them know that they too would suffer. And he used the moment to teach them that true greatness is expressed not in the exalted positions that they were looking for, but in service. He said to all the disciples, "Whoever wishes to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wishes to become first among you must be slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." It's good news to me that God can love us even when we mess up like James and John did, and that there's always another chance to learn a lesson and try to do better next time. I'd like to close with the Lord's Prayer as it is found in Matthew's Gospel, but with slightly different words. This is from a recently published book called First Nations Version, an indigenous translation of the New Testament. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm enjoying dipping into this and getting a different perspective. It is in English, of course, but it is written in a way that follows the storytelling traditions of indigenous oral culture. So this is Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 to 13. Jesus said, "When you send your voice to the Great Spirit, here is how you should pray. O Great Spirit, our Father from above, we honor your name as sacred and holy. Bring your good road to us, where the beauty of your ways in the spirit world above is reflected in the earth below. Provide for us day by day the elk, the buffalo, and the salmon, the corn, the squash, and the wild rice, all the things we need for each day. Release us from the things we have done wrong, in the same way we release others for the things done wrong to us. Guide us away from the things that tempt us to stray from your good road, and set us free from the evil one and his worthless ways. Aho, may it be so. May it be so indeed. Have a lovely weekend. Stay well. I hope you'll have a chance to take part in some of the Holy Week services, and I'll be back with more good news after Easter.